o'clock, and this is the Festival Grounds Committee meeting. It is Thursday, May 4th, 2023.
Here's
Steve's here.
Excuse me,
You get here so quick.
Becky Meyer is out of the country.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Country.
All right, then we have the meeting of the previous minutes for the meeting from April 6th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is items for consideration. We'll wait for Mr. Bureau to get to his seat for this one.
Sorry.
You're up. Loyalty Day celebration wrap up.
Oh, yes, sir. I sent a note off after last night's meeting with the Loyalty Committee. They're very, very happy. Their statewide organization is very happy. So the VFW crew is proud of what they produced. The event washed its face economically. The program paid for most of the expenses. They had some other things that they sold, some pins, some challenge coins. That helped increase the coffers a little bit. They couldn't say enough about enough good things about the help they got from the city, for the facilities, for the police. Universally, everyone's actions were very positive and very supportive. And they had, from the general on down, they were appreciative. The band club, in selling the food, was able to raise $500, which was outstanding. That's more than what they expected. So far, there's no negatives coming out of the event, all positives.
Good.
Yeah, Rick, I know you did a lot of hard work on that, and thank you for doing that. It's really showcases that building for the city.
Thank you.
Anything else for Mr. Bureau? We'll move on to a fair update.
Actually, we have nothing new. Everything's going on. Right now, it's just getting the paperwork taken care of, we got some stuff for insurance to take care of. And I do believe we got all the entertainment taken care of. We met with the VFW Eagles over some of the matters, and I think that's been taken care of. And the only other thing we have to do is meet the city about the lease, and that will be great. And I'll stop tomorrow and get in touch with S5 vehicles. That's fine.
Yep, I'll be in the morning for sure.
Okay.
Quick question. The city did authorize some money for repairs. All that, everything, pretty much maintenance is all done on the cattle building and everything.
Nick was working on that.
Okay, so
Right.
I mean, all looks to be in good shape. It's all, you know.
I don't think there was any issues with snow or anything else like that this year.
Not that I
There
heard.
was minor issues with the roofing, but that's been pretty
Good.
Great, thank you.
Nick was checking into the whitewashing company that.
Oh yeah, whitewashing, yeah.
Right, rodeo update.
Talked to our transportation specialist for moving their trailers. Sometime between this month, we'll move the 3 rodeo trailers into position, into place down there because of his schedule, and we can't wait until the weekend before. And then on June 2nd, we'll be starting to get some equipment in. June 3rd, we'll start pounding fence posts and hanging snow fence and getting things set up.
Sounds good.
Have you figured out a way to use some of the snow that's over there?
We're trying to develop a new rodeo event. They're full snow bucking or something. I'm not sure, but hopefully it'll be fun.
Okay.
No, everything looks good.
Okay. Calendar of events, we have that presented in our packet. The only thing would be to add would be the ATV, UTV, and that's another flyer in here I seen, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do the same with that, the ATV event. It's new. The Tim English family has rallied around as a production crew. 10 times better and faster than I would have guessed could happen. I assumed that we would wind up having to babysit them heavily, but they are way ahead of the game with websites, with emails, with entries. They're just way ahead of the game. Now, the one thing that they're nervous about, and we are also, is that they learn what to do in the arena, in the use of the dirt, and how to make it, and how to make their track so that it doesn't harm the arena setup. But I've got kind of an all hands on deck meeting coming up for Brad, for Lurch, for Rod, to walk them through that.
Yeah, with probably the earlier the better you can
Yeah.
get that done, because Rod's gonna be busy with street
Yes.
projects coming up.
Very much so, yeah.
Okay, any discussion on calendar of events?
Oh, I should say that,
Oh, go ahead.
the 365 Motorsports out at,
Yep.
up by the truck stop, they've come on board for them as the main sponsor.
Oh, good.
That, we're trying not to jump ahead too far.
Mhm.
Trying to get this one done and not go too far ahead. But I think this will lead to other motorcycle or quad type events in the grandstand. But we're just walking before you run.
Right.
But that door is now open and people are talking about it.
Okay.
Rick, when is that meeting set up to meet with them?
Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory, please?
Yes. It is.
July 29th.
22nd, May 22nd. $6:30
At the.
in the grandstand.
In the grandstand.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got enough seating there for everybody, right?
It's a little shy.
Yes.
We might have to use a stage.
Get some folding chairs.
All right, we'll move on to continued discussion and possible recommendation on stage rental fees to charge per event for usage. This is continued discussion from the April meeting.
Mr. Bjorklund, I'd like to hear from you.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to hear from you on this, first of all.
The
Oh,
stage.
Rod had a good idea. Is Rod here?
No, he's out of town.
That the building right now includes chairs and tables. And that makes the building very attractive, extremely good, because you could pay as much for chair and table rentals as you do for the hall rental. So that makes the building very attractive. The stage is it's a specialized piece of equipment. Some will want to use it, some will not. But to have a rental fee on it is not unreasonable. It's a very high-end piece of equipment. I don't know what the market bears. Rod was thinking maybe around 400.
Heard that figure.
Yeah.
I would say, let's try it. And if people are balking at it, if they want to use it but they're balking at it, I'll come back to the committee.
Yeah.
But at least there's an acknowledgement that it's a high-end piece of equipment.
Is there a stage already there?
Yes.
It's already set. It's set up right
It's
now.
set up, yeah.
But Rod and Nick are getting. The sections are heavy duty, And it's only, and the support mechanism only goes to 8, maybe 20 inches. So it's the supporting braces are designed purely as a podium type of stage type of thing. So to handle that stage, that we're going to have to give really high caution to the people when they first start to handle it, because you're gonna, I don't want a trombone player losing his pinky finger or something on it. Just we're going to have to be very careful with it. Those are heavy units, and when we handle it, but I'm sure that can be handled. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. I am saying that we'll just treat it as a high-end professional piece of equipment and go from there.
I don't believe there's any plans of moving it right now, unless you think it's in the wrong spot.
No, there's not they're getting, we don't want to move it without a storage rack. Because to try to double handle and triple handle it right now, to stack it over against the wall, that sets up accidents. And you really don't want these things tipping over.
Well, in, I guess, a comparison to that, when my daughter got married, this was several years ago, we talked, asked the ballroom, bought a riser for the head table.
Yeah.
That was $125.
Okay.
Just put the head table up.
Okay.
We had an employee here that rented a stage similar to this for their son's wedding, and they paid $800
Yeah.
for the night.
I think I know what lurches. What you got probably was what's called a Monroe riser, and a Monroe riser is like a 4x8 table, but with legs that fold out from underneath.
Oh, this was just,
and they bolt together.
this is just a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Oh.
with 2x6 frame around it.
Oh, well, that's.
And they were just laid down and done deal.
That's not. We don't want that.
But you know,
This stage, we used it over the weekend for Loyalty Day, and that was very nice.
Rock solid.
Yep.
So,
Mr. Chairman, I have another question. I've never seen this stage. What prevents someone from who's using the hall to just use the stage?
Nothing.
well, I'm there for any event. They don't get it.
Well, we would.
They don't get to do that.
If they don't wanna
You're
do-
there for every wedding.
Oh, yes, oh, absolutely.
You can get
Yeah.
quite involved.
I mean, I don't say for the weddings,
Well, and that's the thing. I
but
mean,
for
that's-
every setup, no matter what. Yes, absolutely.
is this stage something that was purchased, or was it built by the
Do
city?
you want a full history of this?
No, not really, just,
It was purchased through the city for a theater group. The theater group decided to disband, but we had it written in our ARPA money that it would revert back to the city.
well, I guess the reason I was asking was, maybe $400 might be a little steep. Come down a little bit to make it a little more attractive to be used, and the more times you rent it out for, I'm just going to use the figure $200 compared, you rent it out 3 times compared to renting it out once for $400. And if it's popular, we can always go up. It's pretty hard to
Yeah.
go up and then,
Yeah.
geez, I really want to, but 400 just isn't in the budget. And
I would think 250.
I'll make a motion to set the rental fee for the stage at $250 per event.
Second.
I think that's a great idea.
I have a motion and a second to set the rental for the stage at $250 per event. Any further discussion?
Is that someone will include that in our application?
Yeah,
We'll put it on.
We'll go on to the application. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6 is continued discussion and possible recommendation on facility rental incentive. Park and Rec policy was handed out tonight. Mr. Bjorklund, you
Yeah.
have some words of wisdom on this.
We have fewer multiple day events. What we have more often is our single day events.
That happened multiple times.
That can happen multiple times, that's correct. I wouldn't want to go, it's an incentive, but it's a percentage issue. If they have 4 events, and the 5th one is incentivized, then it's a 20% discount. That's not bad. 3 events, and one is a kind of a high percentage of the discount.
Yeah, if I could,
You know,
and Krista in my office is a pleasure, and I mean that people would much rather talk to her than me for some reason. Julie, as far as, the first one is this, and then this next day is
And
that.
stagger it.
That I wouldn't recommend. I don't recall more than 2 occasions where people complained about the price of that building, and that was just generally that it was too expensive, and it was not that it wasn't worth it. I have been amazed by the amount of man hours that go into that thing with Nick and Rick and John running around and Tammy looking after things. I think this is a good deal. It's a beautiful facility and it's well taken care of, and we've never had a problem running it out at the prices we charge. But that being said, whatever your pleasure is, but I don't see that it's necessary. I really don't. And
It would be multiple events in a year though, correct? Like a
yeah,
calendar year?
annual.
Right, not-
Absolutely.
Right.
yeah,
Last month, the discussion was that if you did 3 events, we would drop the 4th event down to $100. I mean, even if we just dropped it to $300, it's an incentive to keep coming back. But there's only 2 events right now that are happening multiple times, and I don't think either one of them do 4 events.
Well, the one that probably would be the auction.
The auction,
Oh, that's right.
the quad racing has the potential to do that because they're talking about motorcycle events, adding to it.
But we're talking about
We're talking
the
the
Beerman
expo.
building
We're just talking
versus
the
the grounds.
The building is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Because the grounds wouldn't have any effect on it.
The rare, yeah.
Right.
How about 3 events for 400, and then 3rd and the events after that would drop $100.
So $100 off.
It's $450 is the base rent charge.
450. Okay.
Yeah.
450 3 times, and drop to 350 for the calendar, rest of the calendar year.
I'm not lobbying heavily for it. I'm just saying if it does happen elsewhere, if it's the pleasure of the committee, that's good. If it's not the pleasure of the committee, I have no problem telling them what the rent is.
So Alderman Sabaki, your thought is?
I'll make the motion.
Your motion is the first 3 events are full price $450, and every subsequent event during that calendar year is $350.
Yeah, just for some incentive to hold more events.
I'll second your motion.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Could we maybe do this like for a 1-year trial basis to see?
Yeah.
We can all agree.
Oh, yeah.
See how it works, if it works?
Yep.
Do the balance of the year, yeah.
Well, I'd say start like start January 1 of '24, instead of starting in the middle of the year, now.
Right. That'd probably be.
So they have more opportunities, they have more events.
Right. And see once how it goes, and
I don't have a problem with that.
I'd like to hear from Mr. York on that.
The pleasure of the committee. There's no wrong answer here.
Right.
There's really no.
I think starting it at the beginning of the year.
Could we look at it after 2 years?
What's that?
Could we look at it after 2 years though? Because 1 year is kind of a short. I'd rather give it a little bit of time to get some football.
So started January 24, and then we would revisit in January 26.
Correct.
We're going to be for January
Why don't
26th.
we say it started this past January, so anybody who's already had 2 or 3 events, it counts for them.
good point.
Sure.
I'm in agreement with starting at January 23, moving forward.
Sunsetting is good.
And sunsetting the January 25.
Is that what your motion
If there's
is?
the issue, yeah, that's, yeah. Did you get that all, Lori?
So you're effective January 1st of 23 through December 31st of 25. So you have 3 years.
Right.
All right, sounds good.
Add that to your letter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We have a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And discussion on promoting festival grounds, fireworks and festival grounds. I have talked with the Humane Society this week. I talked to Liz, and she has no concerns with the animals. She said that they, just like Alderman Kaler mentioned, they have ways of adopt or fostering them out for the event. They have systems in place where they can take care of the animals, so. Yep, they have a Muzak system and.
We have a huge amount of animals as far as dogs go.
Right.
Ones that get very well.
Right, so I mean, that's not an overly concern, I guess, so moving forward. I know that interim administrator, city engineer Akey reached out to the fireworks company and they have not responded back as of yet. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I would lean somewhat on Alderman Gus, Alderman Keel. They did a fireworks display out at that, out at the picnic, the fireman's picnic.
Yeah.
It was first cabin, absolutely, and it was relatively close to the to where the picnic was, and you always worry about proximity with anything that's being shot up, proximity to vehicles and people. Their experience, in my mind, would be invaluable in this.
They're professional, they're licensed, they get their products all, I think that should be a second option if for some reason our main vendor can't contribute. It was done down there for 100 years.
Oh, it was a different vendor? Oh, there wasn't the same?
Well, no, I mean, I remember using Derek Succo and his group from Fireworks Depot, and he said sold that, but they still do it, they're all licensed.
Oh.
The city of Merrill has a contract with a company whose name I could not tell you. They've been here for years.
I didn't know.
And obviously that's who we'd like to go with first. And if for some reason they say they can't do it there, that's one thing. I just don't understand why they wouldn't, because again, we've done it, they did it down there for 100 years. They never had an issue. And now, so if we go back to it, they have to change how far things go.
I'm showing my own ignorance, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I don't know how, how far things go up is going to be a change in the classes they use in fireworks.
I believe so,
But I think
yeah.
most cities have already done that. They're not shooting stuff up as high because of the cost.
Sure.
So it's just something that I think we can do this. It's just a matter of now getting that last step with the fireworks company. When this was initially brought to us, I think we were kind of misled by somebody who said the animal shelter was completely against it, because I know they weren't. And the mayor now has confirmed they aren't. And then the fireworks people said absolutely not, it couldn't happen. But again, as we know, it can happen, so or it has happened in the past. So.
And actually, back in the time when I was on the Humane Society board, they did voice objections to a lot of the noise at the fairgrounds at that time. Okay, so there was legitimate stuff back then. But I know, talking with the fireworks company, they're looking at landfills, and so they would have to change a lot to get that line, because unfortunately, everything's changed. So that would be the thing that you have to really, not if they can do it, but would be willing to for liability purposes.
I thought they shot them off across 6th Street, but that's not the case.
And now this will allow, if we can do it, would allow the grandstand to be full.
Grandstand, yeah.
Because what people would do is they would park in the parking lot there and everybody sit on their hoods and watch fireworks there.
Yeah.
And this would get a central captive audience if they do it like the crew from Fireworks Depot did. You know, but again, that's something we can explore. We have a couple months. I can't believe we have a couple months to figure this out. But hopefully we can figure this out and get it done this year.
Right. I believe the public would fully support this.
Everybody I've talked to
Yeah.
said that they would.
And then we have an opportunity, maybe some vendors to open up stands and things.
But yeah, like I said, I know I have a copy of the email that Rod had sent out to we're just waiting to hear back from them. I believe I have that number in my office yet too. I can make a phone call, try to find. Since I was the bad guy that had to make the decision last year, so.
Yeah, height is that'll be the most crucial part of it. Yeah.
So any other obstacles, or what do we have to do to make this happen in essentially a short period of time?
We're waiting, we have to wait to hear back from the fireworks company, and I will reach out to them next week, early part of next week. Anything else on that?
That critter living underneath the rodeo building,
Then we got discussion on promoting festival grounds, the campgrounds. I have information that the county is willing to help with some ARPA money to promote the campgrounds.
They mentioned a figure.
Not per place, but they have a figure per multiple places that they'd like to put campgrounds.
I know Yorkland was working on minimal cost.
It was requested.
Okay. So I'd like to turn over to Mr. Yorkland. I believe he's working on some minimum cost just to get it operational. By the way, you're approved for fire, to have fires at the campground. We don't know if we have to get fire rings or something.
Just be a matter of putting some
Fires are allowed.
fire cans or
Right.
or cement, ash, dump, keep it safe, that's all.
But I mean, I guess that I like that the county did request it, and it has to go to the county board for full approval, but at least we're moving in a positive direction.
There is a permit
Yep.
that, it's a $500 county permit.
I don't believe it's that much, but we have that figure somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of a health inspection.
Right.
Yeah, in the city of Tomahawk, and Lincoln County likes it for the backup for events around the county.
So I mean, that's positive, and I guess I talked to Renee Krieger tonight a little bit at the event before I came here, and she said once she finds out for sure, she'll let me know.
And I know Tomahawk has a booking, digital
An app, yeah.
a booking system that they were willing to have us be a participant in, because they at certain times they get overflow. They simply get too many requests for the Harley for the ride and for some of their waterfront events, so that it'd be fairly seamless for them to be able to, the customer to say, okay, I can't get there, but I can get here.
I think one of the essentials is we need to better distinguish exactly where they park the campers. And I think that could be done with 21 fence posts. If it's a park, or if the city has that on hand, just know they line up.
It would be something I'd be.
I don't think that'd be necessary, because you've got there's numbers there on some of them, if not even put the numbers on.
There's one water and electric for every two.
For every two sites, and the campers are pretty smart that, okay, there's the water, one on each side.
Here's 19, here's 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
You back up, because if you go to other campgrounds or places, there's your water, there's your electrical, and you just back in accordingly.
Okay. I'm thinking, you know, it won't take long to put fence posts up with a number on, number 19, number 16, and they can just back right in.
Could just hang those.
Hang it right on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you put the fence post in and, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're in the knock.
Yeah.
Well, and then you have to remove them for the fair and stuff like that. so
Yeah.
then we get back.
They'd be far enough back for the vendors stands.
Well, campers and stuff for stuff would be parked, and they don't stick to specific groups or lots, they're all over. So I think that they kind of cram their stuff in pretty heavy.
I don't think it'd be much of an issue personally. And if it does get full, which I hope it does at some point in time, and Brad's over the line, and it's pretty obvious, he's just gonna have to look on and
Yeah.
move it.
It's a matter, I'll be there to babysit.
Maybe just by spotting picnic tables, that would help them guide where they're supposed to be.
When, we let this go dead because there were budgetary issues.
Right.
So just, do you want me to resurrect that paperwork, trim it down and do a couple of different drafts, and then we can share it out with the committee, and we can carve it up,
Yep.
put it back together.
Especially in light of the county wanting to contribute.
I'd be-
In light the county wants to contribute some money.
The 16th is the county meeting, so if it gets approved there, moving on from there, I and interim city administrator Bennett, the police chief, have been meeting with county reps, school reps, and myself and him. So I mean, and they were asking for projects to help, but I mean, if they kind of want to plan. So
And
once
this one is
I get.
Tomahawk and Merrill kind of working together.
Right.
So that's possible.
Great. So once, yeah, if you can get me that information,
I'll resurrect that and
I will,
try to clean it up
and I can send that over to the county coordinator and meet with Renee and Don or whatever I need to do there, so.
And it bears to remind that the rodeo and the fair, there'll be no other campers here. They have complete control of that over the rodeo and the fair.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
During those times.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have our marketing
Oh, we are.
people here, marketing communications people. Does the committee have anything they want to ask or have them? You guys have anything prepared, Chantel or Ally?
We were just observing to hear what you guys had to say.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
And answering questions.
How are you?
Go ahead.
I have one.
I guess I will say, yeah, I guess the online booking that I
Could you
did
come
notice.
up and just
Sure.
grab the mic, please?
I will say that from a marketing standpoint on the website, it would be nice to have an online booking system like what you're thinking of. Because right now we would have a page where it would be like book your event. And I have Parks and Rec pavilions on that page as well. And they already have something that you can just click and it goes right there. You just book your event from the website, but for Merrill Festival grounds and for Expo Center Bierman Building, we don't have anything connected. Right now, it's just information. So in the next couple weeks, I'll send out a link and you'll be able to see the site. I'm hoping to launch our new site by the end of the month, so you'll have a better understanding of what that looks like. But I think it would be helpful, and I noticed in the packet there was a note from Dan just saying, maybe there'd be a few in-person registrations, but the bulk of people are registering online. So I think the online registration would be beneficial. It would be nice if there was a calendar, that way people could book out for like 2024 and 2025. Because if people are booking out events earlier, they can get them into the visitor's guide. That goes to Travel Wisconsin. And then Hallie and I can also pick up on that and promote them through social media or our website or, whatever's appropriate.
Chantel, do you know if the booking process here in Merrill would be compatible with the one in Tomahawk?
I am not familiar with the one in Tomahawk. I guess if we wanted to go that route,
To
I could do
detail
some
it.
research
We can
on
look
it
at
and ask
Okay.
I could also ask our website, our designers there, kind of what some of the add-ons are. I do know that it wouldn't be something free that we would get for our website currently. It would either be an add-on for the company we have, or it may be another vendor like what Dan's working with, and then we just put a link to that outside vendor on our website.
The most logical would be just to link in with our existing system, right? You talked to Dan about this, I think, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then I know Tomahawk wants to link in with you too.
Yeah.
So, how they get the Merrill system together, I don't know.
Okay.
Good problem. We'll start researching
Yep.
I just one of the thought of marketing, if I may. You know, we talked about drawing young people to town and all that, but it appears that marketing, the best thing we can do immediately, and I'm from the business world where, you know, what can we do to generate immediate profits is we have a ton of events here. So if we can devote a lot more energy towards promoting existing events, just that bring the tourism in, and then the rest of it take care of itself. So I don't know the answer how to do that, but for instance, I went down, took a trip, and I stopped at the Pioneer, which is about a couple hours down Highway 51. There's a Northwoods Veterans magazine in the tourist rack, and Merrill was just mentioned in there for having a concertina concert in the winter. That's a bit disappointed, you know. Where how do we target people to know of all the events we have rather than just a concertina festival?
And I think that's what Chantel and Hallie are promoting. They're trying to get to all the events that kind of together.
Yeah, and I'm just saying more effort into that rather than, you know.
Right.
And I don't know how you would accomplish that, but.
Well, right now our focus is really social media, digital marketing. So some of these events do have budgets where they're already doing digital marketing for their events. So Rodeo, for example. But however, Hallie and I are also teaming up to just keep promoting events. So that's a big plan with for our social media, is to really get more of the events out there. But we also don't want to duplicate work either, because the chamber is really kind of keeper of the events. And the way Travel Wisconsin works, they would prefer to work with the chamber or a visitors bureau. So once the chamber has that info, that goes to Travel Wisconsin. You know, another way to really get our events out there is, you know, it kind of does start, like I said, with the visitor's guide. If we know by like November 30th what the events are for the following full calendar year, that's really helpful, because it, like I said, it goes into visitor's guide, it gets sent to Travel Wisconsin. Then Hallie and I also look at that, and then we have a social media calendar that we have for the entire year.
Okay. Yeah, and I'd just like to see maybe more time with people like Rick was promoting, you know, events here, and the park department promoting events there, and the Chamber of Commerce. You all gotta work together.
Yeah.
And we are trying to do that.
There is a item on the council agenda that I'm asking permission to put Mr. Bjorklund onto the Marketing Communications Committee.
Good idea.
That was actually Alderman Kaler's idea.
Chantel, I've got a question for you, or Brian Block with the Rodeo. At the national convention last year, there's breakout sessions and stuff, and there's media, you know, marketing media. And the gentleman was up there and he said he went online, you know, just Googled rodeo video or something. He said didn't find anything, which, yeah, we found it, but apparently he didn't. But he had some great ideas, and he said you have to make your event a destination. He said sell your community, sell your event. And when the other committee people and I were out there, we were thinking, you know, we've got the Wisconsin River right here. What better tool, for lack of better words, you know, and what came to mind was you take a drone and you get a shot of the Wisconsin River. Take the drone over the empty festival grounds. Then you get a shot of the fair. Then you take a shot of the grandstand full during the rodeo, and the stock in there working, and that. And then you go back and maybe have a picture of a fisherman on the Wisconsin River or something, you know. And he said 30 seconds, could have music attached to it, or it could be just the video playing for 30 seconds. Or, you know, if you have somebody that wants to narrate over it, but he said the music and the video, that'll catch people's eyes. And is that something that you would help work on, or the chamber, or?
The city has a drone and a drone pilot that we could do. We could do the video.
But I mean, is that something that you would, excuse me, you know,
I'm just over here. working on it.
you, Hallie,
Yeah,
Alex, shut
you know,
up.
could work on,
Yeah, so.
and I don't know if that's a good idea, bad idea, but
Some of this exists already, don't
Yeah, so I was gonna say, yeah, some of it exists and it's just not in the right location. So I think the redesign of the website will be a little bit helpful. On our current website, there are some videos and there's some drone footage showcasing all of Merrill Festival grounds. It's just, I feel like where it is placed on the site right now, it's not very prominent. So I am picking up those videos and I'm gonna put it in a more central location called Experience Merrill. And you'll have these video clips that really highlight the community, and most of them are drone footage. But yeah, to Mayor's point too, there are some people who have a drone. Is it a city-owned drone?
Yes.
It is, okay. So there is a city-owned drone. I wouldn't be operating it. I believe it's Darren would be operating it. But if I had the video footage, I could put something short together and edit it, so that is something that we could do too.
or you could give him some direction on what kind of footage you need, or, you know, needs to get, or, you know.
Yeah.
And so that we can, shoot me those ideas, I can, or Chantel and I and Hallie meet every Wednesday, so I mean, give us some ideas of what you want, and we can maybe put together something.
Chantel, when you do that, is it kind of like here's the message I'm trying to send, and then you work backwards to say, how do I get there?
Okay, say that again.
Is it when you have an idea of here's the message I want to have sent, here's the message I want to have digested and understood by the public or whoever I'm saying, and then do you work backwards from there? I'm not a marketing person, so how do you, and to say, okay, how do I get to that message?
I guess it kind of depends what the message is. Sometimes I'll start with the message and then try to think of what visuals would help support that message. I guess that's kind of how I approach it. But I did notice though, if you did want to go to the current site that we have, there are some videos on our current website, and they do show Merrill Festival grounds very well, and they show the Bierman building and the whole property.
Yeah.
So maybe take a look at that too, and let me know, if maybe there's another place too when you see the new site that it belongs there, because I think for me, I didn't notice that it was really there, but I think it's really that video is a good tool to really be promoting Merrill Festival grounds.
All right. Thank you, Chantel. Appreciate it. We'll move on to monthly reports.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
On the subject of discussion promoting festival grounds, I think we ought to keep in mind the popular idea of putting the roof on the grandstand. I know that costs a lot of money, but I think we should keep that in the forefront of this committee as how to accomplish that. And I don't know exactly how to accomplish that, but
Well, everybody's always.
It's being discussed. So
wouldn't cover it.
All right. Anything else? Monthly reports. We have Mr. Bjorklund's report. Does anybody have any questions on it?
I've talked a lot, so I've
Right.
covered almost everything.
I was going to say, if anybody just has any questions, we don't need to go through the report.
No, good seeing out and about on Saturday at that event, interacting with the public down at the festival.
You're so shy. It's good to get you.
I was shy.
Yeah, it's good to get you.
Public comment period. Hearing no public comment, date and time of next meeting, June 1st at 6 p.m. Does that work? It's going to be before the video. Before the video.
But I won't be here.
We'll talk to them. All right, I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion, a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned.